Hello and welcome to this week's edition of ELCAT News. I'm your host, Jen Carlos. A ceremony of remembrance was held on Memorial Day in honor of those who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country.
Port arms. Ready. Present arms. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Present arms.
Remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, I, Charles D. Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim May 27, 2019 to be Memorial Day.
World War I, Francis Gunther. Arthur.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
We owe a great debt of gratitude to all American patriots who put country before self and sacrificed their lives so that we can continue to live free and in a greater and safer nation.
And it's what we do day in and day out that really is the important thing. You know, we can get money for a wall, we can get money for our veterans coming home, but it's how we treat each other that really makes a difference.
The fiscal year 2020 budget was again the focus of discussion at Tuesday's Town Council meeting. At the start, Police Chief Jeffrey DeLessio, Emergency Dispatch Director Scott Burns, and Fire Chief Paul Morissette spoke under public comment to express concerns about the reduction of the dispatch budget for the next year by $76,000.
Understand that. We understand the tax rate is a concern for people moving forward, but I think with the addition of the fire department doing what they're doing now and having the volume of calls that they have or the radio communications, we feel that the service is definitely needed.
I'm not suggesting we put two there just to market the product. We need that second person. Last night alone, in an hour, we had 7 EMS calls in town. And the two dispatchers that were on, they were hustling. They really were, between the EMD portion of it. Is there downtime? Absolutely. But for the safety of all concerned, the responders, the public that's calling in, I think the two position is important, and if there's any way we can reconsider that number or a piece of that number to get us partway there, and we'll figure out a way to do it. We've been looking at the numbers, and it's tough to fill the 40-hour shift, and then if somebody takes their permitted time off as based on their contracts, it doesn't fit the scheduling.
You know, the council has trying to keep the tax rate as low as possible, and for roughly every $20,000 you cut in the budget, it equates to about a penny on the tax rate, and the proposed cuts would amount to about 4 cents on our budget. So, you know, I guess, you know, we have to ask ourselves, what is public safety worth? Is it worth an extra 4 cents?
The cut was recommended by the Financial Oversight Committee as part of its effort to reduce the tax rate.
When the council voted last August, summerish, to go forward with the dispatch, it was made clear to us that the first 6 months going in would be at a considerably less amount than a full fiscal year of that. So we went in to that eyes wide open, also with the understanding that the costs would be literally cut in half if we had a partner community, which at the time we didn't, and we knew that was the only magic potion that was going to get that number down to what was a reasonable amount. That said, we're 4 months into an active dispatch. Scott has been able to give us call volume numbers on a monthly basis, or he did a 3-month study for the finance subcommittee. But frankly, I want to say that if I were the dispatch director, I'd be banging on the doors of Hamden, Ware, Palmer, Longmeadow, because there seems to be a sentiment that they're waiting to get away from Chicopee, and I don't hear that coming. So to say we don't have a partner, we can't just sit at home and hope that somebody's going to call us. I think we have to go out, and we said, and the words were used both by the manager as well as somebody here, we have to have a product to market. Well, we have that, and now it behooves the people that feel that strongly about it to market it. So I would encourage those in public safety to market this product.
Later in the meeting, as President Kathleen Hill prepared to read the first of 16 motions to appropriate the amounts necessary to fund the approved budget, Town Manager Denise Menard interjected.
Number one, yes.
Before you start, just so that everybody's aware, when Sarah put the numbers in, and that was why it took a while to get this done, it isn't a matter of just plugging the numbers in from an oversight committee. They actually had to be calculated, and there are changes from I don't know if they're really significant, but there were some assumptions that were made that were not correct. So
why are we hearing this at 6:25? Why did somebody from this council not hear that before we went live, is my question. I'm finding this a little frustrating. There's only 2 people who can answer that question.
As of today, I have not received the documentation I requested from the subcommittee.
We never got that documentation.
I find you were holding it in your hand that evening.
Not the backup documentation that gave the assumption.
So let me ask this question, Sarah. Today, shortly before 4 o'clock, you delivered 16 motions to Mr. Florence. The numbers in here, are they based on the recommendations of the subcommittee that we approved last week?
I,
Or are they numbers that you're inserting?
they are, the subcommittee's recommendations were to, in the comments, for example, defer hire of such and such, defer part-time ads for 6 months.
Right.
So I followed the intent there.
Correct.
If there was an error in the calculation, then I made that necessary adjustment. So for example, if it was to defer a full, part-time position that was for a year, and it appears the subcommittee probably divided it in half, but the way the calendar year works, it's not a perfect half, so I made those kinds of adjustments. Same thing with the benefits and all of those.
Can you make reference to the motion by number where you made adjustments?
Motion 1,
Just motion 1?
yes,
Okay. And is it off by just how many dollars?
about 60,000.
Well, that's significant.
Good or bad? Which way was it off?
It's primarily with the benefits, so there was, the benefits were off,
Move to recess.
the,
No, I'm sorry, is it 60,000 more than what they thought or 60,000 less?
more than what they thought.
Good Lord.
So there were,
Hill called for a motion to recess.
for example.
I'm going to cut you off there, Sarah. I'm going to move for a 15-minute recess. I'll entertain a motion.
On returning from the recess, Hill proceeded with the motions.
Appreciate your patience while we got our numbers to balance properly. That said, we are in sync now and ready to move forward with the motions. Motion number 1, I move that the
In other business, the council referred to its Planning Matters Subcommittee the proposed mixed-use zoning bylaw recommended by the Planning Board.
So this proposed new draft bylaw is the result of a lot of hard work by the Planning Board and my county brothers. This bylaw was drafted by and refined by the Planning Board. We came up with our own structure for it, and we thought it ought to be in it, and put a lot of time into discussing it and trying to get something that would be beneficial to the town, and get the property at 330 Chestnut back on the tax rolls in a significant way and get rid of the eyesore that's there.
East Longmeadow High School held its commencement ceremony for the class of 2019 this Friday. Here are some graduation highlights.
Welcome to Moe's! Many times on the announcements, we had the absolute pleasure of hearing Matt Wilson boom these words over the intercom. In many ways, our experience at East Longmeadow High School is not unlike that of a Mexican restaurant. We walk in and see the ingredient options, chicken, lettuce, salsa, etc. Looking at the menu, one thinks every dish on this menu is somehow made from these ingredients. Yet they all carry such a different flavor and a unique aesthetic that distinguishes the taco from the burrito and the quesadilla from the nachos. In much the same way, we've been educated in the same buildings, by many of the same teachers, picking from the same list of classes, participating in a combination of the same set of activities, and playing the same sports. Yet, we are all remarkably unique individuals.
Each of us here today has the ability to choose, and that has to be one of the best free gifts we have in order to change the world. My abuela taught me that. Whatever you decide to do after this, be passionate about it, and don't let anyone tell you you can't, because you can. I know we've all doubted ourselves through high school, but we're still here. That says something. High school has its good mixed with the bad, but I stand on this stage before you and say, it wasn't easy, but we didn't give up. And whether we do it for the ones who are here today or for the ones who we have lost along the way, we all did it. We made it to graduation, and everyone couldn't be more proud of us. So congratulations to the class of 2019, and thank you all so much for coming.
So class of 2019, as we are together for the last time,
Appreciate yourself in your class. So yes, after today, you are no longer an East Long Meadow High School student. Think about that. Embrace this next phase of your life, whatever it might be, for you're well prepared. Well prepared through your formal education at the high school, and well prepared through your informal education of your friendships. Seeing as you are ready, success and prosperity to all. And to everyone, it is now showtime. Let's give out those diplomas. Let's rock this place.
Allison May Carrington. And Kyle Flynn Zemba.
The annual town election is on Tuesday, June 4th, with no contested races or questions on the ballot this year. This week, resident John Harding posted on social media confirming that he would seek write-in votes for a seat on the town council. Council President Kathleen Hill is up for re-election. Candidates Patrick Henry and Ralph Page are on the ballot to fill seats vacated by outgoing councilors Paul Federici and Kevin Manley. For school committee, William Fonseca is a candidate for re-election alongside newcomer Antonella Rochilla. Voting will take place at Birchland Park Middle School from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. This Saturday, residents celebrated East Long Meadow's 125th anniversary and summer with the Rec Department's summer kickoff. Here are some highlights of the event.
I like this girl, Mr. Dicker. I'm supposed to go out with her Friday night.
The 30th annual EL Lions Club Memorial Golf Tournament will be held on Monday, June 10th at Franconia Golf Course. Visit for 18 holes of golf and a buffet dinner at the Franconia Pavilion catered by Bentley's Bistro. For ticket information, visit ellions.org. The Lions Club Distinguished Citizen of the Year Award was presented on Wednesday to Marlene T. Goldstein. Marlene has served on the Democratic Town Committee for 10 years and on the Appropriations Committee for 5 years. Also involved in community service, local schools, and churches, a congratulations to Marlene on winning this year's award. Here's what's happening at the library this upcoming week. On Wednesday, June 12th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. is developmental training for parents. This training will offer expertise and knowledge in music, communication, and social skills development. Guest speakers include Lisa Erickson, physical therapist, Renee Coro, music therapist, and Samantha Bernier, speech-language pathologist. Each will discuss the importance of supporting social skill development within their field and ways to support optimal developmental skills. Time will be allotted in the training for a Q&A session. On Friday, June 14th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. is another edition of Friday Flicks. This week's film is The Upside, a comedic look at the relationship between a wealthy man with a quadriplegia and an unemployed man with a criminal record who's hired to help him. This film is rated PG-13. Starting on Monday, June 17th, summer reading registration begins. Register online for the 2019 Summer Reading Program, A Universe of Stories. Program information and the reading log is available in the Children's Department, open to all children from all towns. Construction for the Hidden Ponds Estates is officially underway. The new 20-home subdivision off Redstone Drive is being developed by Rosebud Builders, whose subdivision plan won approval from the Planning Board last July. That's it for this week's edition of ELCAT News. I'm Jen Carlos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.